When I was a kid, I hated ginger. Was the word ginger. That was like my
hit.
That was a hit. You can think you're playing good defense, and it does not matter for certain guys. He can be the best player on any court that he steps on.
All right, Kevin Huerter, Red Velvet, joining us here on Redhead Sports. We always like to dive into the nicknames first. So Red Velvet, man, when did you first hear about it? Like, what's the origin story of Red Velvet?
Yeah, Red Velvet, it was a Twitter thing.
Okay.
It was a Twitter thing. I was in Atlanta. I think it was my rookie year, and like the team had put out like a poll or something on Twitter.
Okay.
And it was just, here's 4 nicknames, or what should we come up with? Or maybe like they put it out to the fans, like we have to come up with a nickname for this guy. And I actually traced it back a couple years ago. It was kind of this, I don't want to say random, but Atlanta Hawks fan, this woman, she just tweeted out Red Velvet, and people kind of ran with it. And a couple years ago, they went back down this rabbit hole, like, where did this come from? And found the woman online, like she was on Twitter.
That's cool.
And the name is stuck. So it's been good.
Have you interacted with her much, like, since then?
A little bit. Like, I think it was a DM here and there, like me thanking her. Like, like, to be honest, I don't think I fully knew like where it came from. It just kind of something like over Twitter had stuck.
That's crazy. Do you remember what the other names were that were on there? Any of them? Like the other nicknames?
They like Red Baron. My college nickname, they called me Red Mamba in college.
Yeah.
But
that's taken.
The name's already taken.
Matt, yeah.
So that was fine. So it was like when I got to league, I was like, understood. Like I need my own name. Like Red Lightning. It was red. It was red something. Yeah. Now in Chicago a little bit, like Kobe White is going with Red Nova. So
Red Nova.
Red Nova. So there's different things that I'm like, man, I'm Red Velvet. Like, that name is stuck.
Did you embrace it from the start? Like how'd you initially take it?
From the start, I was a little bit skeptical. I'm not gonna lie. Because I was trying to figure out, I heard Red Velvet right away, and I didn't want people to associate it with like being soft.
Yeah.
So that was like right away. I was like, I don't know if I like this. I want to see how fans kind of like it and see if it catches on.
Yeah.
And then over time, I'd meet random people and be like, man, I love that nickname. It's like it's for smooth, it's silky. Like they would tell me what it means to them, and I thought generally like that was the feedback that's how people perceived it. And I was like, all right. So I think it probably took like 2 to 3 years for me to be like, all right, no, this is it. Like, I'm going to fully embrace this.
To be cool. Have guys in the league kind of given you any chat, like talking trash with it, talking about like the soft aspect of it? Or
Never.
Yeah. So there you go. Like you proved it, you know, that you earned it. So like you said, Red Mamba was one you had before. Obviously, Matt Bonner has that. We know Scal's got White Mamba. You know, we had Dante in here, Big Ragu. I think that's another great one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, there's some awesome ones like Sean White, you know, the Flying Tomato back in the day. Where do you think Red Velvet ranks in the redheaded nicknames?
It's a good question. I feel like that's a question for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like nicknames like that, like any of us, like you can't call yourself your own nickname.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I think it's unique. You know, I think that's most important is it's unique, and hopefully people hear Red Velvet around sports terms. They're like, all right, that guy who plays for the Bulls, like that's Red Velvet.
It is. Well, like, and we were at the Bulls game recently, you know, we saw See Red everywhere. And we're like, hey, like, you know, that's very on brand, you know? And so you ended up in the right spot.
Yeah. Maryland was red.
Yeah.
Atlanta was red. Now Chicago's red. So
it's just the thing, you know?
It's the thing now. I guess it's sticking.
That's cool. How did you end up at Maryland, by the way? I heard you had like 20-something offers, right? And what ended up making you land on Maryland?
Yeah, it was a long process, a fun process though. Like the whole recruiting thing. I was a late bloomer. Yeah. You know, I think I got my first offers was EYBL when I was in 17s. It was the first session at Boo Williams, which is like this big youth tournament. I'd kind of been off the radar. I went to this, I got like 20-something offers in a day. Like my phone was blowing up. So I go through that process for the whole summer. That was in the spring, go through the process in the summer. I kind of got it down. Like I had a top 5. I took 3 visits, or I was going to take 3 visits. It was Villanova, and then Maryland, and then Michigan. And then I had Notre Dame on there, I had Iowa on there, I had Creighton on there, I had Davidson, like a bunch of different schools. And I visited Villanova and they were loaded. Like you just had Dante on the team. Like Dante was redshirting when I went and visited. And Phil Booth and Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and Ryan Arcidiacono, like that was when they were kind of in their stretch of, they got their 2 national championships, but they were loaded. And so I kind of looked at it and kind of like, I don't know if I'd come in here and play as a freshman or even sophomore year, and was looking to go in somewhere and play right away. And just with kind of how Michigan, how they had recruits going, and with Notre Dame, just like Maryland, I love the school. Like my visit was great, but they had guys graduating. Like if you remember Jake Lehman back in the day, and like Rashid Suleiman, those guys were leaving and graduating. And so their whole pitch was, we need guys to come in and step in and play right away. And for me, that was it. I was sold.
Yeah, and obviously, like, you made the right choice, because could you imagine if you went to Nova, you and Dante on the same team?
I know.
I mean, that would have been crazy. I don't know if the Redhead Army would be able to handle that.
It would have been fun. But it was interesting my sophomore year. This is 2017. Uh-huh. So my final three, like I said, really like my visits that I'd set up: Villanova, Maryland, and Michigan. Villanova beat Michigan in the national championship. And Maryland, we didn't make it. Yeah. So we didn't even make the tournament. So that kind of stung a little bit. Like the year I was coming out, that was when Dante had his big year. We get drafted in the same year. But that kind of stung a little bit, is seeing that. And like, we had a bunch of injuries, and so whatever excuse, but like, we watched the NIT show as a team and our name wasn't called. And that was a big, like, oh my God, like, we didn't make the NIT? Like, are you kidding me? And our season was over. And then I got to watch those two teams. That's like, yeah, sitting on your couch or something like that's got to be tough, because you're sitting there too, probably like you said, after your first season, like wondering, wait, did I make the right choice, right? Yeah. First season was good. Like, you play right away. Yeah. I think I was freshman teams or whatever in the Big Ten. We had a great season. I come back, and second year went well. It just like, we didn't have team success. But going to that postseason, a funny story, and I'll like never forget it. We finished our last game, we lose to Wisconsin when I was at Maryland. So I was in the Big Ten tournament, and we thought we were like a bubble tournament team. So we watched selection show, kind of like there's a chance. So we don't make that, and the NIT show is like a week later. So we practiced for a week, and like our coach practiced, like, we're learning from this Wisconsin game. We need to get tougher. Physicality, like, we're totally like 2 feet in. So a week later, we finished practice, and about 8 of our guys were all in the training room. I remember I had like Normatex on boots. We had guys like in the cold tub, and coaches coming to the room, and we're all in this recovery room, like watching the NIT show. Like, we're probably like at lowest going to be a 3 seed, like 1 or 2.
No brainer. We're going.
And we didn't get called. And so then we're sitting there, and it was like shock. All us players like went back to the dorms, like, what's left? Like, is there any other, like, are we going to still be playing? And we got like the next day, it was like, no, our season was over. So we like had just practiced for an extra week for absolutely nothing.
Just for nothing. Yeah, it's wild. And then obviously, you decided to declare. You go into the draft, like, that was a stacked draft class. Yeah. I was going back looking at it. You got Luka, Trae, obviously, Dante as well in there. Yeah. Shea too.
Shea was in there.
What was that draft process like with those guys? Like, did you interact with much of them? Like, what was that whole process like for you?
Yeah, it's a long process. Draft is always fun. I mean, I'm biased. I'll say, like, we had the best draft class ever.
Like, I mean, look, there's some really good dudes in that class, so it's hard to argue with some of that.
It's a funny thing across the NBA. I think most guys, when you're on the bus or on the plane, you argue about who are the better AAU team, how many state championships you won in high school, and who is the best draft class. So you'd sit there and everybody goes on Google and it's like, nah, we had this guy, we had this guy. And so 2018, like, I feel like most guys, when you're listing out the names, like, all right, that draft class, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And so guys have done pretty well. A lot of guys still in the league, which I think is impressive 8 years later. Mm-hmm. But the process is fun. Like, I feel like people don't fully understand like what happens behind the scenes and like simple things. When you're at the draft combine, you have like 13 to 15. Like, you could have in the teens where you're going to meetings with teams and you're sitting like this.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a chair and there's 8 executives around, and you're in a hotel room. So you go to like the 17th floor on some random hotel in Chicago.
Okay.
And they clear out the furniture in every hotel room. And then they just put chairs in a circle. So like, you're standing in the hallway, and in front of me is like, there's Michael Porter, there's Shea, there's Miles Bridges, there's Dante, and you're all like standing outside this door in the hallway. Somebody comes out, opens up, and you all like walk into the room, and it's kind of like musical chairs of meetings for like 2 days when you're at the combine. So that was kind of the eye-opening part. Like, we're all wearing suits, like you're in a different environment. We haven't even played yet. Like, when you first get to the combine, it's like Monday, Tuesday, and I don't know if they change it now, but like, you don't even play until the 3rd day, where you've already been going through meetings and sitting with teams and getting to talk to them like this. So that was kind of the most eye-opening experience, is like seeing guys off the court and in a different light.
Yeah.
And then once you get to playing, it was a lot of fun.
Well, so it's like a full-on job interview. They had you guys in suits?
It is literally a job interview, 100%.
That's wild. Because like, in the NFL, like, they're not wearing suits. Like, they're out there, it's in the mix of while they're running and doing all the different stuff like that. That's kind of great. Like, you're interviewing to be like an insurance salesman or something, talking to these teams.
Seriously.
Were there some wild off-the-wall questions? Because we hear about it a lot in the NFL. Like, do you remember any questions where it was like, where'd that one come from, or something that sticks out?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it was my Warriors interview. They asked me to recite the alphabet. So like A is 1, you know that trick? Yeah. Like A is 1, B is 2. So get through it and then go backwards.
The backwards one is hard.
So the backward one is hard. And I wasn't ready for it. It was kind of like in the moment. It's like, oh shit, all right, here we go. But then I kind of gave my agent some shit afterwards.
Yeah.
And because my first interview, and I won't say the team, but like first interview, they get to the end and they're like, all right, do you have any questions for us? And I was like, I think I'm good. I don't know. Like I'm all right. And I'm 18. I'd never been through like a job interview. So I get out and like one of the guys, like as I'm walking out of the room, like kind of puts his arm around me. He's like, hey, you did great. Just for the rest of the teams, make sure you have questions for him. And it was kind of like, thank you for that. Like I remember then I'll go and I called me. I was like, you didn't tell me I had to ask questions, bro.
Like, dog,
what are we doing? And so those are the two things I think I remember most about.
Yeah.
And just how many people, like you're sitting there, 18-year-old, and there's 10 people in the room. So
you're just going through like the car wash there. Like that's got to be an insane experience. And then you got to go out and perform in front of all of these guys. So like, how did you reset at that point and be like, all right, now it's time to go play ball? What I do after that, just wild experience with that.
It was, I think you went into like your agents are telling you like, this is going to be 4 long days.
Yeah.
Like the combine, like it's 4 days. You're going to be in the mix. It's going to be tiring. Make sure you get your rest. But then once Wednesday hits, like all your interviews and everything is mostly done with. And so for 2 days, it's, okay, you're going to test and then you're going to go play. So you kind of can like mentally wrap your head around differentiating the two things. And
definitely.
So once Wednesday comes, you're ready to go.
And so the draft comes around, you go 19th overall to the Hawks. Mm-hmm. Did you think you were going to go there? Where did you think you were going to land? Like was that on your radar?
Yeah, I really didn't want to come out. Like I didn't expect to come out, but I also didn't want to. I'll go back to like that Wisconsin game that we loved, like my last college game now. There's a player that was on Wisconsin that as I was going through the lineups, like I mentally wasn't like thinking about the NBA. Like we had just lost. And that season, I was like, I grew up loving college. Like I didn't grow up watching the NBA. And so like my dream was always the NCAA tournament. Like I'm playing in Big Ten tournaments in Madison Square Garden. And like I'm playing at a major Division I school. Like that for me was awesome.
Yeah.
So we get done with that game and I'm going through the handshake lines. And like the guy who was guarding me kind of comes through. He's like, bro, are you going to be back next year? And at the time, I remember kind of like looking at him sideways, like yeah, get through the end of that. And then like the season ends and I wasn't even going to go through the process. Like my dad was pushing me to do it just because he wanted me to go play pickup. He was like, I have this agent. And this at the time, you couldn't talk to agents yet either. So it was different. So my dad's like, I talked to this guy. He thinks you'll get invited to the combine. You should go. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. Like we're going to have a good team next year. Like I'm good. Okay, a week goes by, we talk again. It's like, I really think you should do it. Just go like weigh yourself up against all the other players. Like you have to feel that. And if you're not ready, go back to college, but you went through the experience. You should do it. So I was like, all right, I'll go to the combine. And then just kind of like things start to snowball. I start going to like different workouts with teams and I'm playing well. And I show up at the combine, I played well. I didn't have to play the second day, but I had to get hand surgery. So like it was, this whole process was kind of moving fast, but like that time would, for people not really thinking I was coming out, second round pick to all of a sudden it was like I was projected a mid to late first round pick. And it got to the point like I was too high that I had to go. And so you always talk about like your time to go. And a lot of guys that miss their time to go, they stay in college too long or they go too early. Like that at that point for me just felt like it was my time to go. And so I jumped and went in. Yeah,
it's an exciting time. I'm curious too, like you said, at the time you couldn't talk to agents and now it's like the wild, wild west with NIL and all that stuff. Have you ever thought about like what it would be like for you back in college, with NIL?
Yeah. Well, nowadays all these rookies are coming in with money.
It's crazy.
So these rookies are coming to the NBA with cars and like Mercedes. And so that part has been weird. It's been 2 years of that.
Yeah.
Where that part has been different. And now guys in the locker room, now you can talk about like, how much did you get in college last year? And they're making real money.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'll add that, the fourth thing that guys are talking about. If I was in college, I would have gotten X, you would have gotten Y. So yeah, you do kind of like, man, I miss my time in college a little bit. If I had just been 5 years later, made a little bit of money down there too.
Yeah. What did you come in driving?
Me, a Honda Pilot.
Ooh, okay.
Honda Pilot. I drove it my whole rookie year because I was worried about it getting popcorned. Because that was the thing. Like,
yeah, that was.
And that was more of a thing when I was kind of a rookie. I was worried about it getting popcorned. And so I didn't like buy my first car yet. So I bought my first car like late March. I like ordered it. I got a Range Rover. And it got there after the season. So like my whole rookie year, I was driving this Honda Pilot because I was like, if I'm going to get popcorn, it's going to be this car and not
Not
the
to
car.
clean that one up. But were there, like, how'd they haze you? Like, what was the hazing like?
Ours weren't too bad. Our vets, Dwayne Dedman was kind of the ringleader of our hazing. Hazing, I can't use the word hazing.
Right.
Of our welcome to the NBA.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better term, right?
Correct. DeAndre Bembry was kind of also a ringleader. So we had backpacks. So I had like a pink princess backpack. I had to bring everywhere. It had to have, like, the backpack had to be full of certain items for the longevity of the season. I had to go restock whenever I needed to restock on items. And the other rookies on our team, they did get their car popcorn that year. So it was Amari Spellman and Trae, who they were both not happy. But outside of that, it was towels in the locker room. You got to put towels out. You always, like, you had the first shooting times. There's like different things that rookies have to do. But I guess ours, like, the only annoying one was the backpack thing.
Yeah. What were the items? Can you tell us what the items were?
The items, there were some things you needed on the road, some toothbrushes, some floss, and some different items. You just had to make sure the team was well supplied. If you needed to be.
Use your imagination at home, folks. Yeah. I love that. And so, like, obviously too, I'm sure you and Trae coming in together, like, it doesn't always happen 2 first-round picks on the first team, especially 2 guys, taking that high. What was that process like with you and Trae kind of cutting your teeth in the league? Yeah,
that was fun. That was interesting. Trae was such a prolific college player.
Yeah.
So I think in a good way, he got a lot of the attention, like, when I was coming in. And so I was able to kind of fly under the radar a little bit. We had 3 first-round draft picks that year. Trae was at 3. It was a 5. I think it was 5.
Yeah, I think it was 5.
Him and Luke were 3-5. I was at 19. Amari Spellman was at 30. And Trae kind of came in right away. It's like, this is a franchise, this guy. A lot of the attention. So me and Amari kind of were able to come along a little bit slower. But it was fun. Like, right away, it felt like all of us were together. It's a lot easier coming in the NBA as a rookie when you have guys going through it with you. And so some of, like, the highs and lows and that you go through as a rookie, it's again good to have somebody there with you. I started to play a lot really halfway through that season and to finish that season, and got 3 or 4 more good years with Trae, playing with him, being able to grow together. So it was a lot of fun. It really was. Do
you have any funny stories about Trae, maybe from his rookie year, that the fans at home, a little peek behind the curtain of what that was like?
I think there's a funny picture. I still have it in my office. Is all of us in our we had to wear Halloween costumes when it actually should be coming up, actually. Is that every team does their fan fest. So you have a practice in front of fans. And so you're supposed to sing and dance and do whatever. And so I have a great picture, just all of us wearing costumes around Halloween. And then a couple years later, Trae hosted a couple of us at his house before we went out as a team for Halloween. And we have another one of all us wearing our costumes. So for some reason, it was like, I have pictures of all of us in these different Halloween costumes year to year. That's good to look back on.
Yeah. What were the costumes in the rookie season?
The first one, I was a pirate.
Okay.
Steve the Pirate. I love the movie Dodgeball.
Yeah, that's a great one, man.
So that was the thought. Is he a redhead?
He was. Steve the Pirate is a redhead.
Steve the Pirate is a redhead.
Look at that. We got to get him on the pod. I know he counts as an athlete. Dodgeball, right?
He does count as an athlete. Especially, you can talk. You probably have a 3-hour pod just talking about that movie.
That would be so interesting. the amount of jokes we could get in there with that as well.
Correct. So Steve the Pirate was the idea behind it. I think Trae was an emoji.
Okay.
And then Amari and this Jalen Adams, they were the same costume because they did like a duet performance, which I actually don't remember what the costume was. But Trae was like an emoji. Trae loves like R&B music. He's kind of got a soft heart. He's likes different music. So he had like the hard eyes emoji and he belted it out. He sang to the crowd.
Oh, there you go. He's got the golden pipe. Speaking of music, I heard you ruffled some feathers in Atlanta with your music tastes. Like, you're not an Outkast guy?
I did. I am an Outkast guy. I took the question, people that don't know, it was Outkast or Rich the Kid.
Okay.
And I was listening at that point to a lot of Rich the Kid. And I think I was uncultured at that point in Atlanta to know how big of a deal Outkast was. Yeah, still to this day, people hate that answer. But at the time I was like, listen, I listen to Rich the Kid. Like, if you're going to put Outkast or Rich the Kid right now, Rich the Kid is my guy.
Wasn't there though, like I saw somewhere there was like a country music thing as well that you picked over something, or is that not true? I thought I had seen somewhere.
I don't know what that one rings.
Yeah, okay. Because I saw it and I was like, wait, that's a random mix of music there. So throw that one out. But that's just a funny little time though with the music thing. I didn't know Trae had the golden pipes like that either.
He does. Big R&B guy.
Yeah, the multi-talented Trae Young. So obviously like you're an East Coast guy, being from New York, you go to Atlanta. Like, what was that experience like? Moving to the South and just kind of diving into that whole area.
Yeah. First time living in like a major city like that. Maryland was around DC, but we didn't live in DC. And we were still in college, so we were still in our college bubble. But first time living in a major city, that was a lot of fun. So much to do. I think I was welcomed very quickly to how big college football is in the South. And people give me shit. Like I think I made a comment when I went to like my first major college football game, and people up at Syracuse were all mad that I had made that comment. But like Syracuse football is not what Georgia football is.
No.
And the number one sport in Georgia by far are the Georgia Bulldogs. Like every single house has a little bulldog in the front lawn. Like Saturdays are shut down.
Yeah.
And Atlanta's such a melting pot for Alabama and Auburn and Georgia and all the alumni. A lot of them live in Atlanta. So like Saturdays in the fall, the city was a lot of fun just because like everybody was paying attention to everything the SEC was doing and college football.
Yeah.
So that was a fun part of moving down there. Atlanta has such like an outdoor culture. Like their belt line and a lot of their restaurants, and the weather's so good that the city is just, you're outside a lot, great weather. And so it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the SEC is different, man. I lived in Alabama for a couple of years and covered Alabama and Auburn, and it is wild. Like the first question is always like, what church do you go to in Alabama or Auburn? You know, so I'm sure there's similar things out there in Georgia with the dogs, obviously.
Are you an Alabama or Auburn guy?
Man, so I was an Alabama guy, to be completely honest. Like, granted, I had to be a media member, so like I had to pretend like I was unbiased, but like let's be real, Alabama was way better at the time. Correct. So I was like, my job and my life is way better when they're winning.
That's correct.
So yeah, so I had to root for them a little bit. But,
that's fair.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, you got to enjoy the job, right? At the end of the day, otherwise, what are you doing?
Correct.
I'm curious too. Like you mentioned the outdoor scene. Are you a big outdoorsy guy? Like, what do you like to do to get out and about?
Nowadays, I just golf.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, I played sports. I like played baseball outside, football a little bit, but now it's golf. Kind of checks all those boxes. Gets me outside for 4 hours. That's good enough.
How's the golf game? Any good?
It's coming along.
Yeah,
it's coming along. They had a little of a Twitter thing, I think a month ago, where they're trying to say like who's the best NBA golfer at the moment. And I respected it because I think it was Corey Kispert chimed in that he was like near scratch golf, because everyone in the NBA talks about Steph and Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
And like Zach LaVine, I actually heard is very good. When I was in Sacramento, I used to play with Keegan Murray. Doug McDermott's very good. A lot of people know that. But I think there's a lot of guys that are starting to golf now, and I'm not in that conversation. So it's still going to take a little bit of time.
I was waiting for you to say like, yeah, all these guys do that, but I'm like way better than all of them.
No.
He's humble. Red Velvet is a very humble guy.
I was following along, but I was like, I'm not in that conversation.
Yeah. You're waiting someday maybe. You know, golf is a sport you can get to much later in life and really start killing it out there.
Yeah, we hope.
That's funny, man. So obviously the years go by for you in Atlanta. Over the course of that time, you know, through your career there, was there a veteran that really, you know, struck you? Like I always love hearing the guys talk about like their favorite vet that they had.
Yeah. It was always cool. Playing with Vince Carter was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like such a polarizing name in our sport. So we got 2 years with him, and he's just he's such a normal guy. I don't know if you know him from being kind of on the media side, and he's working with ESPN. Like Vince is such a normal guy who also loves golf. One of Vince's, well, at least when I was there, one of his like biggest golfing buddies was our assistant equipment guy. All right, my guy Tim. If Tim is going to be watching this.
Shout out to Tim.
But like Vince, he doesn't act like what you'd think Vince Carter would act like, which was great, being a young guy on a team and just having like his presence around. He didn't take like a crazy mentorship role. Like it wasn't like he was coming in trying to be all preachy every day and really like say the thing that was going to stick with us and make us a different player. He was just kind of like himself, and he was around. He loved playing shooting games. He finished practice and he would stay and play horse or play whatever shooting game for hours. He could go to a dunk contest. He was still windmilling at that point, 20-some years in the
which is crazy.
League, which is crazy. And he had stories. Like the thing that was funny at the time, so Vince, when we got to the arenas, he took the first shooting time, first shooting time is for rookies. That's like 3:30 in the afternoon. Rookies barely get to sleep and they have to be at the gym super early. They shoot on the court at 3:30. And then they have about 3 hours till game time. So a lot of times, by the time that some of the older guys are getting to the gym, the rookies are in their locker on their phone, and they've been sitting there for an hour already because they had to work out an hour ago. So Vince always took the first shooting time because he knew so many people across the league that it was then social hour. So he'd stay on the court, he'd shoot, and then basically every single coach of the other team that would come up and start to work out their guys, he would 15-minute conversation with him. The radio guy, 15 minutes with him. The TV guy. So it felt like Vince knew everybody.
He's
like
the mayor out there.
He was literally the mayor running court, but it was every single away game. It was like for 2 years, it was like Vince, I'd walk out to my shooting time and I was like right in the middle. first bus, right in the middle of shooting time. And Vince would just be out there on the scores table, like legs crossed, talking to somebody. And kind of introduced me like, all right, you need to know this guy, he's that, he's this. So again, it was just fun like having him around.
Yeah, that's a cool like intro to the league with a guy like that. Was that like a kind of starstruck moment for you? Like what was it, or did you just kind of fit in right away? Like how, because you grow up watching some of these guys and then you're playing with them and your peers with them.
Yeah, it was. And he hated hearing those stories. We would talk about like, yo, I used to play with you. He's like, imagine. do not say that. He goes, I don't want to hear it. Do not talk about it. But it was, I remember like they put his name up in the locker room and I was a rookie. So they put his name up in the locker room. I was like, oh my God, Vince Carter's on our team. And like the first day he walked in, you're kind of like, what's he about to be like? But like I said, very quickly, he was a super normal guy.
Yeah.
So it was easy.
Hey guys, when the biggest shots drop, shouldn't the best celebrations hit just as hard? Well, to help you do that, Lobos 1707 Tequila has partnered with professional trainer Lethal Shooter and just launched the Buzzer Beater Initiative, which is a new way to reward you guys, the fans, when the game comes down to the final moment. Now, anytime a real buzzer beater goes in during a pro game, Lobos activates a real-time reward. So you head to a bar, order a shot of Lobos 1707, then go to lobosfinish.com and upload your receipt. If you're eligible, Lobos will Venmo you for the cost of your drink. Lobos 1707 is some good stuff. It's crafted in Jalisco and finished in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks for a smooth, layered flavor that's earned top awards around the world. What's not to like? Because whether it's in basketball or tequila, it's all about the finish, right? You can follow at Lobos1707 and make sure you celebrate the moment responsibly. Full terms and conditions can be found at lobosfinish.com.
Did you have like a welcome to the NBA moment like out on the court where you're just like, wow, okay, I'm here?
Yeah. I told this story a couple times, but we were playing the Warriors last year of Oracle. I think it was the first time playing Kevin Durant. And, you know, I'm in the half court. I came off the bench. I check in. I'm guarding somebody else. All of a sudden I get switched on to him. And he tries to post me up, I think, at the elbow. So I'm trying to deny the catch crazy. I think I get a piece of the ball and somehow I hit the ball towards half court. And I was like very like, all right, I'm good. Like,
here we go.
I'm guarding. So Katie like goes back and gets the ball. And he just like dribbles towards me and I think hit the easiest like right crossover left hand and just pulled up. I'm right. I'm thinking I'm guarding him and just drains it from about like 17 feet. And he's backing up and he's just like, welcome to the league, Rook. Like yelled it out. And so there was guys on our team that heard it too. Like Torian Prince gets to the bench and he's like clowning with some of the other guys. Like, bro, guess what he said to him on the court? But I'll never forget it because it was his first time in the NBA. Like you can think you're playing good defense and it does not matter for certain guys.
Yeah. Did you get to give that moment to anybody at any point? Have you said welcome to the league, Rook, to anybody?
I definitely haven't said it, but I don't think so. Hopefully,
maybe thought it though?
I've not yet.
You did. I saw you pause there. Don't lie to us. Come on now.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully at some point somebody's on a podcast and they'll hear it. They're like, Kevin Huerter did this. Like, okay, no shit.
Wait till it comes out. Yeah, we got to throw that on the socials for sure. And then obviously again, you know, you cut your teeth there with them, you know, through the years. You guys went to the playoffs, you know, a handful of times there. What was like playoff basketball like in Atlanta? Because again, like you said, that's SEC country. So like I can only imagine the atmosphere on a game day there.
No, they embraced the team. It was good. We had great crowds.
Yeah.
I think that was a COVID year, was the year that we kind of really made a run. So the fan experience was a little bit off.
Yeah.
I think by the time the playoffs rolled around, the NBA had allowed 80% of the arena to be full. Like that ever made sense. Like what's 80% versus 100? Fans showed out. It was a lot of fun. You had a lot of like the rap and hip hop culture. And a lot of those guys really followed the team and loved coming to our games, which was super fun. And a couple of years after that, I think we made the playoffs one or two more times before I was out of there. But it was good. They had great fans. You know, when we were good, the fans showed up.
When I heard there too, the guys gave you the name Kayvon.
Kayvon.
Yeah. So I mean, how did that go compared to Red Velvet? Like, did you embrace Kayvon more or what?
Kayvon was cool in Atlanta. It was K''VON.
Yeah.
People curious. That was a DeAndre Bembry nickname.
Okay.
And it was guys who I think the unassuming of you look at me as a player and you think he's just a white shooter. And so it was when I started to do some of the other things and show some of the other sides of my offensive game. The other guys were like, that was Kayvon. Like that wasn't Kevin. Like that play right there was Kayvon.
Yeah.
So then that kind of stuck. And then it got out in the media and that was the thing people liked too.
You knew you had it when they were calling you Kayvon. You're like, all right, I'm in my bag.
There's definitely a little bit extra confidence.
No, definitely. And that's the thing though too. You mentioned the shooting aspect. It seems like it's in ginger blood just to be a shooter.
It's got to be.
Exactly. Like you look at the guys that have done it. So like, Why is that? Why are gingers such sharp shooters?
I don't think we're maybe besides Dante.
Yeah.
We're never going to come into the NBA as the most athletic guy in the league, or maybe the tallest.
Yeah.
Maybe the fastest. But we can be the best shooter, So you got to kind of like pick your strengths, I think, a little bit. Or it could just be a redhead thing. All of us can shoot a little bit.
It could be. We have a lot of unique things about us. How familiar are you with all the uniqueness of being a redhead?
I don't think I'm as familiar as
I probably am.
As you probably am.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm the host of the show. I got to know this stuff, right? I got to be on my game.
What do we got?
So there's some interesting ones. They say that we don't feel pain the same way as many other people, like that we have a higher pain tolerance.
I've heard that.
Is that something you've ever experienced yourself?
I'm not sure.
That's all we know, I guess.
Yeah,
that's a good
correct.
point.
You just feel pain.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one, though.
We were talking to Justin Turner, too, recently, and he said in terms of like the cold sprays and stuff like that you guys use, for injuries or whatever it is, like they would do it and it would leave like a welt and he'd be there for like days on end, So, but like he wouldn't feel it, but he was just like, he goes and looks and all of a sudden it's like, boom. There's this like welt or a bruise or whatever. Like you notice anything maybe with the tape or stuff like that? We're obviously fair skinned. Yeah. So like you leaving marks are easier. Like what's the deal with that?
Something like that. No, I feel like I don't mark up easy, I would say.
So you might be a day walker then. You're a little different.
Yeah.
You know the day walker term?
No.
Okay. So like, there's gingers and then there's gingers where like you can't go outside. Like you are wearing sunscreen all the time. All those different things. Like Justin said he tans and then he admitted he's lying. He doesn't actually tan because none of us really tan.
Correct.
I would imagine that's probably the same case with you, right?
Yeah, I don't really tan.
Yeah. Does the tan ever get balanced? Like maybe for like a week?
It does. I like burn very quickly.
Okay.
But once I burn, for me is the first stage of my tan.
Yeah.
So like I have to burn first and then I'll get decent color in the summers, but it's like burn every single time.
Yeah. The thing I always say too is like if our freckles came together, we'd have one of the most like balanced tans, like obviously I'm wearing a jacket so you can't see, but obviously I think I'm a little more freckly than you are, but like you look at the freckles, those things blend together. We're one of the darkest dudes on the team.
Honestly, we got to start to remind people.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like that's a plus. But one of the other weird things about being a redhead too is that apparently we need more anesthesia. Like if we go under, Yeah. You ever had any surgeries and stuff?
I have.
Have they put you under?
Yes.
And did they make you check on there or anything like that you're a redhead or anything? Obviously they can see it when you walk in.
Yeah.
But like one time when I was a kid, I went to the dentist. I've told this on the pod a couple times, but like they put me under and didn't give me enough. And I woke up halfway through mid tooth pull. It was horrible. They had to strap me down. Like it was crazy. It took a while for me to get over this. I can talk about it on the pod now, but it was a terrifying experience. So make sure you check with your doctors when you go in. Be like, yo, I need extra anesthesia because I might wake up.
Wow.
New fear unlocked for you now.
That's horrifying, honestly. Yeah. I was aware of that. I've had a couple surgeries and I think I learned it in one of the surgeries. One of the nurses like, by the way, you need more anesthesia. And I thought it was cool. Again, it was one of those like pump shoulders. Like, yeah, I need more to go under. Like, that's cool. So I guess, was aware of that.
You're like, I'm that dude. I need more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I wake up, that'd be horrifying.
I couldn't imagine like getting cut on, like, and you wake up, like getting the tooth pulled one thing, but getting cut on and woken up, like that's always been my biggest fear before I knew about, our uniqueness in that regard. It's crazy, but it's crazy, right? So now you're going to be thinking about it. Hopefully no more injuries come at any point. You're going to be like, I remember on that damn podcast, this guy told me I was going to wake up. I'm curious too, man. Like we talked about this. I meant to ask you at the top of the show, like where does the red hair in your family come from? Because I think it's a recessive gene. Mm-hmm. So it's not always the most common, but like with Justin Turner, like his family, it's him, his wife, his kid, like his wife's mom, like everybody's got red hair.
Really?
Yeah. Where's it come from in your family?
I had one grandmother.
Okay.
One grandma on my mom's side who had red hair. So we think it's from that.
Yeah.
Because me and I have a younger sister that's red hair, and then this grandmother, but like nobody else.
Nobody else in the family. Else. What's your lineage? Like, what are you guys?
We're German. We're Irish, obviously. And those are kind of our two big ones.
Okay. So that's where the red hair comes in from the Irish side. Yeah. I got the Italian side, obviously. I'm Irish and Italian, but that's what we were talking with Dante. Like it's wild because you don't see a lot of Italian redheads, right? And Dante said same thing. Like he's the only one in there. So
he's the only one in his family.
Yeah. So it's wild seeing that kind of come through.
Wow.
Yeah, we were talking to. We got to bring up Dante. You guys played recently. And he said you were talking about the podcast, right?
Yeah, it was like the first play.
Yeah,
I think we both checked in, and we're going to the corner. There's like a stoppage in play. So, bro, you doing that podcast tomorrow? I was like,
that's pretty good. See, Redhead Sports has already taken over. It's a part of the redhead culture already. I'm curious too, like, Do you have any matchups over the years you remember, with certain Redheads, or is there a nod when you're like, oh damn, like, hey, he's one of us?
Redheads, no. Dante was always just because we were in the same draft class.
Yeah.
But other Redheads, not really. Never. I didn't play against Matt Bonner. Now, obviously, Scalabrine was too old.
Yeah.
Like, I got Blake Griffin, but I think he's spotted. I don't know if he truly accepts the Redhead culture.
I think you're right. I was thinking about that today too, and I'm like, we got to get Blake to embrace it. Maybe we can get him to do that when he comes on the show.
Yeah. But outside of that, I think that's... Yeah. If I'm missing anybody, but I think that's it.
Did you ever play with any Redheads over the years at any level?
Growing up. There's a youth basketball, like, travel every year. One of our centers was Redhead.
Really?
Set good screens too.
Okay. Hey, how about that? Not just a shooter.
Correct.
Multifaceted. We can do more than just shoot.
Knew his job.
Yeah. I'm curious too, though, as we start talking, you're rattling off some names. Let's get to the Mount Rushmore of Redheads here. Start diving into some of the top Redheads of all time. This can be any era, any sport, at any time. There's 4 of them. I know we always got to talk. So Mount Rushmore has 4 heads. You
gave me Shaun White. I feel like
definitely he's been on everybody so far.
Yes. So that was one I don't think I would have gotten by myself.
Yeah.
Scalabrine has to be on there.
Definitely.
So there's 2.
The White Mamba. The original, probably, I think he carried the torch for the Redheads in the NBA, really.
Correct.
Yeah.
You had to.
The personality off the charts, too.
Yeah. I could give you some names, but Mount Rushmore, you might
Mount Rushmore is pretty tough. I mean, look, like, so just across all sports, there's obviously Mark McGwire, home run king.
Okay.
He's in there in the mix. JT obviously put him up there. We talked about Shaun White. Yeah. Bird, like, we can't figure out about
Larry.
Bird.
Is Larry,
I think we're going to call him a Redhead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larry's definitely in the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
McGuire was probably got to be on Mount Rushmore.
Exactly. So that puts us at, let's see, you had Shaun. Did you throw Blake up there or no?
Shaun, we had Scalabrine.
Scal. Okay, so that
McGuire,
covers the 4.
That covers the 4.
That's pretty good. So let's do this. How about this? Sure. 3 on 3 that you're putting together of Redheads. All right?
3 on 3.
Again, any era. What 3 on 3 group are you taking on in the NBA of any era?
You mean like I have to put together my team?
Yeah, your team,
and then I go against another team.
Yeah, what other big 3 are you facing?
All right,
Ginger big 3 right here.
I'll take Blake and Dante.
Okay, why? Here, first of all, why are you assembling that grouping? What advantages do you have?
Blake is the lob threat.
Yeah,
can step out.
Okay.
Dante's the gritty. He'll guard for us a little bit, hit some threes, and then obviously I'm the shooter.
Yeah.
So that team just feels complete.
Yeah.
The other team. We'll go with Scalabrine, Larry, and Matt.
Gotcha. And how do you like your chances?
I like our chances. I think athleticism on our side for sure. Shooting, I think, is even. People might not like that take. Shooting's even. But I feel like we could take them.
Yeah.
New age basketball. We got a little more to us. Athleticism off the charts.
We got to make it happen. Maybe we just even get like a one-on-one, you versus Scal or Matt now. Obviously, we know who that would favor. Yeah. But they'd be game for it, right?
Now would be the time.
Yeah. Have you had many interactions with Scal and Matt over the years? Like, those guys are obviously big personalities.
I haven't. Matt's sister, I think, is executive for the Magic.
Okay.
Where she used to be.
Yeah.
So, actually, when I came into the league, I heard Matt wasn't excited that I also had the Red Mamba name.
Yeah.
So that was a Twitter where I was not accepted as Red Mamba. So then I talked to his sister. Then I think I was a rookie, and she had come down, and I remember us getting to talk. And she's like, "You might have to find a new nickname. Like, I think that one's already taken." And it was all fun, like fun and games. But that was a very quick like, damn, like I just stepped on his territory a little bit. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And then Scalabrine, I've said hi to. He does the TV for the Celtics. So we don't talk too much. Yeah. Seems to be like an enemy at this point.
Yeah.
But said hi to him, acknowledged him. But
okay.
I don't know him too personally.
We're gonna have to talk to Matt about the stepping on the toes with the nickname. We're actually talking to him soon here. So
ask him.
I'll be curious what he has to say.
Yeah.
He might actually try and expedite this one-on-one matchup here.
That's fine.
Be like, we got to play. I mean, granted, like we said, we love Red Velvet.
Yeah.
We may have to play for the right to be called Red Mamba.
That could be a game. I'm fine with Red Velvet.
Yeah, it is a damn good name. I think, honestly, like personally, I think that's one of the better ones. Red Mamba is great. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
Red Velvet, though, just like flows off the tongue. We talked about NIL. Could you imagine, like, crumble cupcakes?
I'm still trying.
Cookies.
Crumble 100%.
Like, get them throw some cash.
Insomnia? Like
Insomnia 100%.
That was a funny college story. I ordered Insomnia once, and I only ordered 2 glasses of milk. I didn't order any cookies.
What?
I just completely screwed up the order.
But
imagine being that devastated at 3 a.m. in college that you're waiting an hour for your Insomnia cookies. and 2 cartons of milk show up.
That's it.
And that was it.
So did you just drink the milk? What did you do?
We drank the milk. Yeah.
Just keep it pushing and move on. That's crazy.
Yeah, we did.
How'd you mess that up?
I don't know. It was 3 a.m. in college.
This is true. Yeah. Sometimes it happens.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I'm curious though too, man, as we go back to like the Atlanta days, obviously everybody loves to talk about Lou Will. And so we got to dive into that.
Yeah.
What was the experience like playing with that dude, but not only anywhere, but doing it in Atlanta of all places?
He's a legend.
Yeah.
He is. Lou, he's such an interesting guy. Another similar to Vince, he just got stories and stories. He brought us to Louisville. It is as hyped up as it is.
Okay.
As it's talked about. He's a fun guy. And he brought to the plane every day, he would have these big, what do you call them, like cartons. He brought these big platters of wings every day. Every plane ride, like he had this chef, like he took care of the guys. He was fun to have around. He was a guy too. You get to a point in the NBA where you need the right amount of vets on your team. Because if your team is all young guys and you're like a college team, you're going to practice every day and you're going to practice hard. So then once you start getting guys like my 3rd year, we got like Lou Will and Gallinari and Clint Capella, these guys who've been around, that Lou Will was very comfortable with just yelling out, tomorrow's an off day. Like, tomorrow is a team off day. We're not doing this. So Lou was fun to have on the team. He was a character and he was a bucket. Like he was on the court. He was a bucket.
That's the thing. And shout out to the vets, man, hooking you guys up with the off days. Like you need that.
You need it. You absolutely do.
With the intermediary between the staff, they got the, cachet to be able to do stuff like that. What was he like on the team plane? You mentioned a lot of the conversations that you guys have on the team planes, but what's Lou like on a team plane?
He plays cards.
Okay.
He controls the music as well. Lou Will, he had a speaker and he would play the music on every plane, which was good. He had good taste in music.
Okay.
And he had stories. A lot of the stuff that social media comes out on a lot of his off the court life. Yeah. Guys were asking questions about and he was telling us they were fun stories. It's fun to see him get in the media now because like you can see how well like he's social, like how well he can talk and articulate things. And it's fun seeing him like in the role he's in now. He was just one of those guys, like you came to the gym every day and it felt like he just had something new going on. Yeah. He just was the opposite of a boring guy.
That's cool. I'm curious too, like, when you guys are on the plane, people are controlling, the aux cord, all that, the music, everything. Like who has had the worst taste in music that's had control of that? And how quickly does that role get stripped from them if it's bad?
On the plane, I think if you're playing on music on the plane in that setting, most guys are okay with it.
Okay.
A lot of people now would say, now I'm with the Bulls, Nikola Vucevic is very confident in his music. He plays a lot of music from where he's from. So there's a lot of guys on the team that don't love his taste in music.
Yeah.
But he's playing like yesterday in the locker room after the game, he's blasting. Like you would think you're in Ibiza at some club. Like he's blasting like house and techno or whatever like this type, which I actually don't mind it. Like in the right setting, it's like I could get behind this dude. He walks straight into practice. He's the oldest guy on our team by a couple of years. I won't put him completely up, by a couple of years.
You're not gonna bury him just yet?
Correct, bury him. And he does what he wants. So he walks in the facility and he walks into the weight room and whatever's playing comes off and he'll play the Goo Goo Dolls. He'll play Nickelback. He'll ask me like what I want to listen, like he'll play whatever he wants. So that I think has been one of the cooler experiences.
An eclectic taste. Yeah, that's cool though. Like you got to mix it up here and there. Like, so for you, like what music are you leaning towards? Like, now, like what's your go-to right now?
I'm kind of getting more into country a little bit right now, to be honest. The Morgan Wallen album from this past summer, like
that's your jam.
Right now it's my jam. It's been a couple months, but like I keep going back and finding that. The Kendrick album, GNX, like I was a big fan of that, especially in California, Sacramento. Like we listen to a lot of Kendrick, so I was a big fan. Like growing up, I was a big Drake guy.
How could you not be back
then? How could you not be? I feel like Kendrick has ruled the last 1 or 2 years of the hip hop scene.
He definitely has.
And so I would say that Luke Combs has really grown on me a lot, going back to the countryside. Yeah. So Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, and then the hip hop. A lot of Kendrick. I take a lot of pride in White Boy Wednesday. So that's a thing. Yeah. Wednesdays we play Eminem.
Okay.
So those are just a few of the highlights.
Nice. Carrying the torch for White Boy Wednesday. I appreciate that.
You have to. Guys embrace it. Guys are fine with it too. Yeah. It's a very like, this is our day. Don't take this away from us. And
Hey,
guys put their
and we
hands
got
up.
a good man in Eminem to be able to carry the torch for
and they're
us,
like, I could, like, guys are like, if you keep it to Eminem, like I can do it. Mac Miller gets on there sometimes. Those are kind of my two go-to, just to kind of keep everybody. I won't go straight country.
You don't want to throw something out, alienate the whole group. You know, you got to keep the vibes going for sure.
You do.
You mentioned it though too. As your career goes on, like you end up getting traded to Sacramento. What was the experience like in Sacramento? Because I think that's a market that's probably a bit underrated, you know, compared to a lot of the other NBA markets in some of the larger cities.
It is. They love their team. They do. The fans, the Sacramento Kings are the only pro team that is truly Sacramento's, like just theirs. So if if you live in Sacramento, like football, you like might root for the 49ers, or baseball, a little bit like the Giants or Oakland. Well, now they're in Sac. Now just the Athletics.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But like everybody in Sac roots for the Kings. And so that was really fun to be a part of. We had a good couple of years there. It was different for me, like moving to California. We were talking before the show, like the weather in California, how
Can't beat it.
How it's different from the East Coast. And like it is. And it's tough to tell people when to come back here, go back home. Like the weather in California is really nice.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Being that far away from home was a little tough, like just the time change. But it was fun. It was a good couple of years.
Yeah, I can imagine. And obviously playing with De'Aaron Fox over there. How was he different, you know, to playing with Trae?
They're both great scorers. Yeah. But a little bit different. Style of play wise. Fox was great. I thought there was times, and along with Trae, like there was times that Trae was a demon. That's kind of like the word I use for him. Like Trae could take over a game and unguardable. And it's funny to me when Trae doesn't get the respect he deserves, is that when you game plan to play against Trae Young, you game plan only to stop him. And that's like how it always is going to be. Like he has the ball, he's going to make the plays, and like you go in and he gets double teamed off screens. So like he deserves his respect. Yeah. Fox, on the other hand, is a little bit different. Our offense was a little bit different. But like Fox wants to be. He can be the best player on any court that he steps on. And there were certain nights you could see like he'd flip a switch and he was unguardable. And so kind of being able to play with both those guys at some point in my career, it was great. Both of them are around my age. Like Fox was my age coming out of high school. Trae, we were in the same draft class. Yeah. It's fun seeing them both continue to do their thing.
And obviously, like you said, you're a shooter. You're going to do what you're going to do. But how did your role change, you know, from there to Sacramento, from Atlanta to Sacramento?
Sacramento was playing a lot off Sabonis. So a lot of, you know, my role in the offense and just being a mover, a spacer, you know, making things happen. You know, a lot of my cutting and spacing and the way I come off screens, a lot of it is whether I'm getting a shot or not. Like defenses have to react to shooters. Yeah. So whether I was getting the ball or not, guys were reacting to what I was doing. And that was kind of my role in that offense with Domas, how good of a passer he was with the ball, playing off of him, allowing him to make plays. And Atlanta was kind of used more of a spacer, secondary ball handler. So they were different and, you know, had good years in both spots.
Yeah. And then obviously from there you end up, well, actually I'm curious before we move on, did you play with Dante? I knew he had like a cup of coffee with Sacramento, but did you guys ever get a chance to play with each other? Okay. I know the years might have barely or just barely missed overlapping there, but that would have been kind of funny again, having the two gingers on the team.
Yeah. Like, he was with the Warriors. So the Kings and Warriors play each other 8 times a year. Yeah. So like my first 2 years, we were playing them.
A lot. Have people, and you guys, we know you guys don't look alike, but a lot of people think all gingers look alike. Like, did you ever get confused for him?
I haven't.
How about are there any other gingers that people think you look like? Because I all the time get Sean White. Like everybody says that. So when we get it on the pod, when we get him on the pod, it's going to be great. I say it all the time on here. Like, so I actually had long hair as a kid too, when Sean had long hair. I cut my hair first, then he goes and cuts his, and I'm like, I can't get away from the guy.
That's crazy.
So now, you know, it only makes sense to have him on the pod. We got to
trying to be you.
Yeah, I know.
Are you okay with that comparison?
I mean, yeah, now I am. As a kid, I hated it, I'll be honest. Like, it was actually funny when I'd go snowboarding. People would come up to me and ask for my autograph, and I was like, I'm not him. Like, seriously. You clearly didn't watch me go down the mountain because I'm definitely not him, you know? It was wild. But like, are there any guys that you've been told you look like?
Not really.
Really? That's crazy. Because like I literally get every redhead ever. Like people say I look like Freddie Freeman. I even get that. I'm like, he's got the butt chin. I don't have a butt chin. You know?
Maybe I'm not a guy who notices the chin. I would go with the butt chin.
I just overanalyze it because everybody says I look like him.
Like, no,
you know, I get the kid, the dude from Homeland, Damian something. You know, it's just like everybody's always doing it. So you've missed out on that, which I think is a good thing for you.
It was good. Now that you're talking about like the Harry Potter guy.
Oh yeah, Ron Weasley.
So that was like one of the early something Threesley. Ron Threesley was like a Twitter thing going on for a little bit. So I got that a couple times. That was Like, come on, guys.
It's a stretch. Did you ever have the bad hair like that or what?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I was that white. Like,
yeah.
You know?
That's what, like.
I work on it.
Right?
It's crazy.
So did you, but to that note, like, did you, like, the hair's not bad. Obviously, you got the hat, but like the hair, you know, you show off the hair. Look at the locks. I mean.
Mullet.
I know you said you just got out the gym and all.
Yeah, we did come.
But were you always rocking that? Was the hair ever different, or you just been like rocking with that for a long time now?
Kind of the same. Always I've always kept it short. I had long ears and sack, threw the headband on, saw what that did.
Yeah.
Didn't need it any longer. Just a lot of hair.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm a roll out of bed and I don't need to put a lot of effort in.
Yeah.
So that was quick.
I had this a lot as a kid. People would always touch my hair, like people I don't know. Like that. Did you ever get that?
No.
Man, and anytime I went to Mexico as a kid, like growing up in California, we would go down there a lot. They would always run by and like, as I'm sitting at like the dinner table with the family, and I was like, what's going on here?
It's crazy.
Yeah, again, another thing the Jews got saved from, maybe because you're taller than everybody else. But like, it's wild.
You've had some different experiences.
Dude, big time. That's why like it's crazy on the show. I love talking because again, there's only 2% of us in the population of the world. Like we're a very small group. Yeah. So it's fun talking to guys to see the experiences, but you've been saved from a lot. I mean, were you ridiculed at all as a kid? Like, did you get made fun of or did you just miss out on the experience altogether?
No, I did a little bit. I remember I got upset at my brother once, pretty heavy. Because the ginger, I hated ginger. I hated that name.
Yeah. Like, it takes a while to like, you know, to where it doesn't like, bite you.
Doesn't like bite, correct. Like irk you. I think I'm over that point now. Like I don't have the same feelings as even I'm saying it out loud. When I was a kid, I hated ginger.
Yeah.
And I built up my head that my brother was the reason people called people that, which he wasn't. So so nowadays, like he knows he's not.
Yeah.
But I remember that was like a big issue, was the word ginger. That was like that really like
hit.
That was a hit.
Yeah.
That was.
Did people ever ask you if you have a soul? That's another thing I got.
That was another one.
Yeah.
That one didn't bother me as much. Because it was kind of like,
like, okay.
Sick chirp. Bro.
Yeah.
Like
it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
I had one, get this. Again, a lot of stories about me, this podcast about you, but we'll throw this one in here. My freshman year of college, first day in this communications class, teacher starts roasting me. And I'm like, what? She goes, did you know today is National Kick a Ginger Day? And I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. This is the first day of class, my first day in college as a freshman, and you're just sitting here talking about kicking a ginger.
It's definitely not a thing.
I didn't think it was either. I guess it's something in South Park. We got to roll the episode from it or something. But that became a thing from South Park.
Was the teacher like, did they turn out cool, or was that?
Yeah, she was cool. She was old though, so that's where I was like, "What the hell are you doing watching South Park?"
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like she was trying to be funny.
I think she was, and it didn't hit. Like, yeah.
It's like,
I was like,
I hate you already.
Yeah, I was like, this is a horrible start to this relationship. It was so bad.
Yeah, no.
But like we talked to a couple guys though, so like you said, like the ginger bit for a while, and not to get too deep here, but it take a while for you to like get comfortable in your own skin and be cool with that, or like what was that like?
Not too bad. Like once I got to high school, middle school, high school, I think I was always fine. I was always good at basketball. So like there was kind of like a confidence and like, right. Like I knew who I was. So like sports were always kind of my thing. And so maybe like it wasn't something that I think I grew up and it was something I like really was kind of get off my back, or I was like trying to avoid. I was dyeing my hair like kind of like it was what it was.
I think it was Dante that said he dyed his hair one time.
Did he?
Like that's a cardinal sin if you got red hair, man. Yeah. Like
you gotta embrace it.
Yeah, you have to. It's what makes you unique.
That was I think I had a bet. Same guy, DeAndre Bembry. He keeps coming up. We had a conversation once. It was like, would James Harden ever shave his beard? Would Josh Giddey ever cut his hair?
Yeah.
Would I ever dye my hair? That was his thing, and try to make bets on it. It obviously never happened.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's not like I'm a ginger now and then I dye my hair dark and people are like, oh, that guy's not a ginger anymore.
And you're just not. Yeah.
And you're just not. It's like you just look stupid if you're going to do that.
But if you dye your hair, like you're going to look really white, like especially if it's dark.
Correct. It's not a good look.
We're already fighting an uphill battle in that regard. So don't make it any tougher on yourself. Correct. That's for sure. You mentioned Josh, like obviously great lettuce up there, man. Yeah. And now you guys obviously play together with the Bulls here. What's the experience been like in Chicago? Because that's a legendary franchise. We were at the game recently. Yeah. You could feel the aura of 23 when you walk in. Obviously the statue's there. Yeah. That's got to be cool playing for a franchise like that.
It is. It's such a brand. Yeah. You know, it is cool. You said there's a feel. There's like you walk in, you see the banners. Same thing. You walk into Boston, you see the banners. With the Lakers, these historic franchises. It's been fun. Like I'm back in a major city. The city loves their sports.
Yeah.
Which honestly, most places I have been, they've been like that.
Yeah.
But
Chicago's a little different though.
Chicago's a little different. Yeah. They're a little bit more in your face about it. Like clean it up. We need to be better.
Yeah.
But you want to play for those types of places. And the Bulls, like you said, it's such a brand. There's an aura to it. There's a lot of like, even our gym, like some of the old heads still come around.
Yeah.
And so just seeing those types of people, like it's a little bit new, but I've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the old heads, like you ever have any interactions with MJ? Like I'd imagine he comes back from time to time, but
have not yet.
Really?
Yeah, have not yet.
That'll be a crazy moment. So who are some of the guys that have come back then?
Paxton's been back.
Okay.
Harper's been back. You obviously Reisdorf. Like for me, like you watched The Last Dance, like seeing Reisdorf and some of the ownership, like that was, you see him on Netflix though. So now they're in person. Stacey King, obviously he's our TV guy.
Yeah.
Joakim Noah, like Derrick Rose, like some of those guys, some of that era, those guys have been around. So I'd say that's mostly it so far. I think everyone's waiting for MJ to step in the room.
That'll be like, we got to bring you back on after that moment just to talk about that.
Yeah.
And obviously check in on how you're doing.
Talk about the aura, right?
Yeah, like that. You could probably just feel it from a mile away as he's walking in.
Yeah.
And like speaking of, not to put him in the same category as here to make his head big, but Kobe White, obviously you're playing with him now. Solid player. Like what's that experience been like playing with him and what's he like off the court?
He's cool. Kobe's super chill.
Yeah.
It's fun having him and Trae Jones. You have that Duke UNC rivalry in the locker room. Kobe's such a special scorer. I remember I played with him in the summer runs in LA a couple years ago, and I was on his team, and you could tell he was working on stuff. Like we were going and we were playing in pickup, and I'm out there in a lot of ways playing how I was in the season. Like I'm back cutting guys, I'm catching, shooting threes.
Yeah.
And you could tell Kobe was using the pickup to like work on his game. And if he'd like get a catch and shoot, like if someone drives and he has a wide open three, at the time it felt like it was like, dude, just shoot it. Yeah. But he was like, would wait for someone and then he'd kind of go at him and he'd work on different things. And then now you look and it feels like Kobe has such a big bag. Like he has a lot of different ways that he can score. And it's almost for me like the elevator reached the top floor. I think he was doing it on purpose. I'm going to credit like he was doing it on purpose, but he just has a lot to him, has a lot to his game. It'll be exciting. He's supposed to get back on the court, hopefully for game one.
Yeah.
We'll see what his timetable is, but he was really good. I mean, down the stretch last year, I think he got player of the month twice for us down the stretch in the Eastern Conference, and he was great.
Yeah. And I'm curious now, like kind of comparing, contrasting roles on each different team you've been on. Now with this one, like how is that role like for you? What do you envision your role being on the team this year? And how do you embrace that? Because obviously the roles change over the years.
Yeah. This team has been easy for me. Yeah, we want to play super fast. First thing Billy said when I was traded here with Zach Collins and Trae is he just loved our acumen for the game. He thought we knew the game, we knew how to play, and he just wanted to rub off on a lot of the other guys in the team. And offensively, like we want to get the ball out, we want to play fast and pace, we want to play fast in the half court. And that's a lot of strengths that are in my game, a lot of movement and cutting. And so, the other personnel, the guys we have, and Josh and his ability to pass, and Modest Buzelis, who's made, I think, a lot of strides this summer, and I think people are really seeing what he's about. And I think we have a lot of guys who can play in the open court. Ayo Dosunmu, I think, is one of the faster guys in the league. Trae Jones has been great. I love playing with him. It's just like our personnel really fits what we're trying to do. Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
Seems like anytime Modest touches the ball, like he's going to the rack. He wants to dunk.
He is. Modest is like, you can tell Modest grew up on the playground.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where he learned the game of basketball. His parents were around the game. But Modest is another one. He just has things. Like, he has things you can't really teach. You can go and work on how to go between your legs and cross over 100 times and you'll look like a robot. Like Modest he just got it. And he's going to be really good once he continues to figure out who he is.
Yeah, no, you guys got a lot of big things coming this year on the court, obviously. We're excited to watch it develop. Kevin, we really appreciate the time, man. Red Velvet, like I said, that's one of the best in the game. We'll see how it stacks up with the other guys. And we will be talking to Matt to see about that one-on-one game.
Ask him about it.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Thanks again, Kev.
Cool. Thank you.